In the United States, there is a growing wealth gap, with those at the top moving ahead while those in the bottom half are struggling, and it's getting worse. We often hear about the places with high poverty from politicians and the media, but what about the cities and towns where the top 1% live? Some of these places aren't well known outside of their state, so I'm going to uncover 5 of the richest places with a population over 5,000 by region in a series. First up, my home turf, the Midwest. Number 5, Huntington Woods, Michigan. Rich people who work in Detroit don't really want to live in the city proper, so instead they flock to this inner ring suburb, located 12 miles from the city center. Housing in this community is entirely single-family residences, with the exception of one duplex, so this screams out NIMBY. If you did want to buy a home here, the starting price on the current market is $399,000 for a 3-bedroom. This is a highly educated community. 99.2% of adult residents have a high school diploma, and 77.5% have a bachelor's degree. The 3 largest industries in Huntington Woods are healthcare, professional scientific and technical services, and educational services. The median household income is about $90,000 more than the national median at $157,665, and only 1.8% of the residents fall below the poverty line. This place is so bougie that the golf course takes up 20% of the city's land area. They also have the requisite tennis courts and swimming pools for the 6,280 residents to enjoy. Fun fact, Huntington Woods has the largest concentration of Jews in Michigan, with 65% of the town's population self-identifying as Jewish. Number 4, Leawood, Kansas. This suburb of Kansas City is just 14.7 square miles, and it's where the rich people who want to avoid the Kansas City crime live. It's a fairly new city, with incorporation happening in 1948. The original residents wanted the feel of a small town, but it might not stay that way for long. In 1970, they had just 10,645 people living there. They have a current population estimated at 33,713, and they're projecting it will grow by 0.5% every year for the foreseeable future. That's not that surprising, because Leawood is known for having good schools, so it's an attractive place for families with children to live, assuming they can afford to, that is. If you want to buy a home here, the minimum you can find is $325,000, and they go all the way up to $6 million. The 3 largest industries in this area are professional, scientific, and technical services, healthcare, and finance and insurance, which is why the median household income is the highest in Kansas at $159,540, and their poverty rate is just 2.01%. Also helping to boost the income is the educational attainment rate. 99.2% of Leawood adults have a high school diploma, and 74.7% have a bachelor's degree. Number 3, New Albany, Ohio. Have you heard that song about knowing Victoria's Secret is that she was made up by a dude in Ohio? Well, that is partially true. Victoria's Secret actually started in California, but it was then bought out by Ohio native Les Wexner and turned into the company that we now know, with the angels and runways and all of that nonsense. Part of the Columbus metropolitan area, New Albany is home to 11,043 residents, one of whom happens to be Les Wexner. His net worth is reported to be $6 billion, and he was ranked the 176th richest person by Forbes. Having such a high-income resident pulls up the median for New Albany, so the median household income is $206,130, and the poverty level is just 1.87%. The 3 largest industries in New Albany are healthcare, retail, and finance and insurance. Some of the employers headquartered in the city include Wexner's Abercrombie & Fitch and Bob Evans Farms. Other major employers include Mount Carmel, New Albany Surgical Hospital, Aetna Life Insurance, and a Facebook data center. Because some of the jobs available are highly specialized, 76.1% of the adults in New Albany have attained a bachelor's degree, and 98.3% have graduated from high school. As for housing in the area, you can buy a condo in New Albany for between $200,000 and $319,000, but if you want a single-family dwelling, it's going to cost between $510,000 and $5.5 million. Number 2, North Oaks, Minnesota. This one is a strange place. In the U.S., most municipalities, such as cities and towns, own and maintain the roads within the community, but not this place. Instead, all residential roads are owned by the North Oaks Homeowners Association and are therefore the property of the 5,083 residents living there. They are considered private use roads for the residents and invited guests only. I can almost picture an old man in overalls holding a pitchfork saying something like, "We don't cotton to outsiders." If you wanted to buy a home here, they range from $750,000 to $2.95 million. But how will you view them if you aren't allowed to use the roads? Do you get a special parking permit from the real estate agent? The whole thing is just weird to me. Google wasn't even allowed to put pictures of North Oaks on their Street View software because it violated the town's trespassing ordinance. Sounds pretentious to me. As for the type of people living in this community, they are highly educated. 73.2% of the adults have a bachelor's degree, and 98.8% have a high school diploma. Many of them also have specialized jobs and skills because the largest industry for the residents is professional, scientific, and technical services, with 17.7% employed in that field. Manufacturing and healthcare and social assistance round out the top three industries. The median household income in North Oaks is $220,861, and just 2.92% of the residents fall below the poverty line. Number 1, Ladue, Missouri. The city of St. Louis gets a bad rap for the amount of crime it has, but there are some places in the area with a relatively low crime rate, like Ladue, which is an inner-ring suburb. This town of 8,905 has a violent crime rate that is 85% below the national average. They also have an extremely low poverty rate at 1.76% due to the fact that this is the wealthiest city in Missouri. The median household income is $250,001, and the adults in this community are well above the national average in terms of education, with 84.8% having a bachelor's degree and 99.4% with a high school diploma. The three largest industries in Ladue are healthcare, professional scientific and technical services, and finance and insurance, which is why so many of the residents have a college education. However, the average person couldn't really afford to live in this city. Housing costs are 246% higher than the national average, with homes on the current market priced at between $739,900 to $6.9 million, making it next to impossible for a middle-class person to move to the area. But then again, why would anyone want to? This community has a history of some really backwards behavior. For example, in 1986, the city of Ladue told a cohabitating couple that they needed to marry or leave their home. Of course, the couple had a problem with that and they took it to court, but the Missouri Court of Appeals sided with the city. That's insane. The woman, Joan Kelly Horn, ran for Congress 4 years later and won by just 54 votes. Another example of Ladue being behind the times is the statistic from 2014 that said a black driver is 15.98 times more likely to be pulled over by the police than the average driver. That was at a time when black residents comprised just 0.88% of the population, but black drivers accounted for 575 stops, so there was a huge racial disparity. Although, to be fair, the entire state of Missouri has a problem with this. If you were paying attention, then you've probably noticed that I covered one city each for 5 different states. The reason for this is that if I hadn't compiled the cities this way, it would have just been a list of Ohio and Minnesota cities. So if you're interested in seeing separate videos on either of those 2 states, drop a comment to let me know. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I remain stuck in the cornfield.